Hi and welcome to another edition of OnSide SA. And Budge, just to get it up front, next week we get on to the last one standing again.
Paul, the 26 is the next round where the guys send me their selections. So I've spoken to a few of the guys, they all know. I'll send their picks.
Yeah.
So it's going to be fairly quick. 23.
23, eh? Right, Budge, Stevie B about, we got hold of what's the weather like there?
Steve, the sun come out yet in London?
No, not yet. We're still 2 hours behind you, so...
okay, no sunlight.
We might see a bit of sun, but it's still freezing here. It's minus whatever it is.
Lovely. Lovely living in Blighty. Right, let's get on to the last 2 nights' games, and we can cut them to pieces. Let's start with Argentina, Croatia. 3-0 it ended up, Budge.
Yeah. Steve, what do you think of the penalty? The first goal.
Yeah, the thing is, it changed the game. That was the end, wasn't it? I mean, there was no coming back from 1-0. Croatia just didn't seem to have anything left, and ultimately it became the Messi show, didn't it?
Could you answer the question, please, Steve? What did you think of the penalty? What was your take if you were reffing?
Well, the end. Listen, I mean, I've sort of given up trying to second guess what they're going to do, or VAR. There've been some strange penalties and things given or not given. It didn't surprise me. It's you've got 50,000 screaming Argentinians. They're in the referee's face. It's going to. There's no way it's not going to get given.
Yeah.
I watched the report by Wright, Keane, and Neville. All three, definitely not a penalty. Where does the keeper go?
Yeah,
what does he do? He tries to block the shot, the guy runs into him.
Yeah.
They said it's a joke. Where's VAR?
Yeah.
If the VAR panel was those 3 pundits, they overturn it.
Yeah.
I don't know, Steve.
I just think the lack of quality of the refereeing, I think it's been terrible, the refereeing.
Poor.
Yeah, especially come the knockout stage.
This is the problem as well. It's the choosing of the referees will become a little bit political rather than saying, right, these are the best referees in the world. These are the referees that should be allocated. I mean, obviously the Brazilian referee in the England game was pretty shocking, and there were complaints about him before. Yet, if it wasn't for VAR, I mean, he wasn't happy to give England anything. So, look, it is disappointing. The quality of the refereeing was poor.
As you say, I thought Croatia started well, Steve. I thought they played well, they passed the ball well, they were looking good. Penalty, there was a lapse in marking, letting the guy go through the middle, boom, penalty should have been given. And then secondly, the second goal was like a snooker shot. There were so many touches and ricochets. And
2-0 they were gone. Playing extra time. Yeah. Well, they did it the last World Cup, but I wish they'd played golden goal, this penalty, because these teams just sit. I felt for Japan. They try to win it. Croatia sat. Even Brazil. They try to win the game in extra time. Croatia try to play it out, win on penalties. But, as usual, great performance by Croatia, gutsy team, but not good enough. Last night, Steve, France, that early goal definitely helped, because I thought Morocco played great.
They played brilliantly.
Yeah, the game went differently to how I thought. I mean, for the first time, you've got Morocco, instead of sort of sitting back and catching, trying to catch teams on the break, having conceded, they basically threw everyone forward for majority of the game, and had far more possession than France. France were just solid. I mean, they did. They're very efficient, clinical when they had those 1 or 2 opportunities. Not an easy watch last night. I think I guess the neutral public were sort of willing Morocco on to score, at least make a very interesting ending. And obviously once the second goal went in, you sort of felt that was it.
Yeah.
But I mean, nobody expected Morocco to get as far as they did. It was incredible run.
Brilliant achievement.
They were very good.
That guy had his shot. Why didn't shoot when he got into the big box? 2 minutes later, they go down, poxy deflection, and it's 2-0. I think it is the right final, Steve. But I've got a question. I had a look this morning. There's 12 people that can officiate the final. There's only one Englishman in it. I think it's Anthony Taylor. You must see the names on that sheet. A guy from the UAE, a guy from Qatar, a guy from America. You just cannot believe. I think there's a Polish guy. The Italian guy who reffed the one game, he can't get it. He's a joke. But
well, obviously the French are out.
Any idea when they'll make the decision who the referee is?
Well, I hope it's not political and they give it to, say, the guy from Qatar or UAE, because they've obviously not refereed at this level before, and it's a worry. Someone like Anthony Taylor, you know what you're going to get from him. We see him week in, week out in the Premier League, and he's eminently qualified and capable of doing it. But and we've had probably as many English referees in World Cup finals as there's been any other nationality. For the good reason that they are, professional, referees of a certain level. Yeah. So let's hope that they make a common sense decision.
We've seen it in rugby when Ireland played the World League, number one in the world, played the World Champions. They got a Georgian ref. Yeah, he was so out of his depth. He ruined the game. And the articles afterwards were all about the poor ref instead of celebrating two great sides. Yeah. I just hope that, as Bud says, they've got to get the right ref here.
Yeah, it's the decisions that's the key. Because most, you need somebody that's ref the Champions League game, because most of those players play in Europe. Yeah. So they've all played in Champions League. So the referees will know most of the players. Don't be surprised if that American referee gets it. Sure. Yeah, he's not the worst, but crikey Moses.
Who's going to win, Steve? Who's going to win?
Steve, we'll pull the betting odds up now. It came out this morning.
$64 million question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Look, listen, I mean, Argentina have sort of been getting stronger as the tournament goes on.
Yeah.
I've been a little bit underwhelmed by France in patches. They're not the France of 4 years ago, but they without being at their best, here they are in the finals. So it could take a little bit of Mbappe magic, as it did last night, to unlock the defence. I think it's going to be a tight game. I think it could get a bit fiery. Argentina, don't like losing, so if France go ahead, it could get quite interesting. But originally, I did think it was going to. I thought Brazil or Argentina. So I think I probably might just edge on Argentina.
Yeah, it's 9-10 outright to lift the trophy. So if you don't want to have a bet, just having a look. The key to me with this game, Paul, is are they going to play 4 up front like Brazil did, with Griezmann behind, or are they going to play the extra midfield player to contain Messi? If they play 4-3-3, I'll go for France. If they're going to play that 4-2 and Griezmann cheating with this, Dembele and Mbappe wide and Giroud down the middle, I think Argentina can grab them. Yeah, but
it all hinges on Messi.
But also,
I promise you, Budge, Argentina not a great side.
Poor side.
I watch him. I've watched him, and France are not a great side.
No.
Neither of these two are great. They've both got weaknesses. They've both got holes, and I think whoever's lucky or better on the day will fluke it. But I wouldn't be rushing to sign a lot of the French players.
No, they would. But Paul, with Mbappe, you saw what England did. The moment he got the ball, they double teamed him. Now, if Argentina do that, they're going to leave gaps all over the pitch. But I've been really impressed with Argentina, their work rate, their organisation, and I think it's Messi's time. 9-10 would be my...
Okay, and then get on Morocco in the playoff.
Paul, can you believe it? Morocco were 13-10 to finish third. Obviously this game could go to penalties or whatever. Yeah. But 6-10, both teams to score. That just taking a look at one betting company this morning. I track on ball side, so that would be my suggestion. But 13-10, Steve, Morocco got a chance to finish third.
They're a good side.
Yeah, I never know why they bother with this, because everybody wants to go home.
Yeah,
it's more of a sort of a glorified friendly, and it really depends who wants it, because. I think if Morocco still expects huge numbers of their fans to be there, they might want to sort of give them something to smile about. So, but they put a huge effort into the game last night. There must be a lot of shattered bodies today. They've got to play again on Saturday. Yeah. So, I think for the fact that they did it, they've done as well as they have. I think that if they finish third, that'd be an amazing achievement. So, I think they might just pick Croatia.
Yeah, it's amazing. The cup final, it's just under even money, both teams to score, but this game is just over 6-10. So I'm looking forward to it. I just hope that Croatia have a go. Don't play the 4-5-1.
When do Croatia play?
Saturday.
And Sunday?
Sunday the final, yeah.
Okay, so, it's been great. I'd love to see it. Just shows there's a lot of flaws. And how can a side have Mbappe, Neymar and Messi and not win the Champions League. It just goes to show football's that tough.
Lucas further back, that's why.
Yeah.
Steve, before we go into the Championship, I'm going to ask you about 5 League One games because they do reflect in our pools. Barnsley, Burton Albion, how do you see it going?
Yeah, I would see Barnsley definitely very clear favourites for that. Burton have picked up a little bit, but Barnsley are on a good run. I would expect them to win that.
Okay, Plymouth, the team that's dummied me the last 2 weeks at home again, struggling, Morecambe?
Yeah, I mean, they really sort of disappointed Plymouth when they were sort of top a couple of weeks ago. I still think they will be too strong at home to Morecambe, though, so I think that's definitely a home win there.
Okay, Portsmouth, MK Dons?
Yeah, I mean, Ports have just drawn far too many games, but I think that MK Dons are just having a really poor season. I think Portsmouth should be too strong.
Yeah, Sheffield Wednesday, Oxford United?
Yeah, I mean, Oxford are having a reasonable season. Sheffield Wednesday are having a very good season. I think that Wednesday should be too strong.
Okay, and last but not least, Wycombe Wanderers against Ipswich Town.
This would be a good game. I mean, Ipswich certainly will be favourites at the top of the table, but Wycombe, I was very impressed with them last week.
Yeah.
When they were on TV, they beat Portsmouth.
Yeah.
I think of the two, I think if there was to be a winner, probably Ipswich.
All right, but you can.
Question: Are Bournemouth being bought?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yes,
Bournemouth.
they just got bought by an American.
Another American. Well, the 2 Americans are trying to get out of Liverpool and Man United, and the other guys are trying to buy Bournemouth. So
Anyway,
well, I haven't seen what the amounts were, but it would have been.
It wasn't big.
Considerably less than.
It was 120 million. I saw something. I don't know if that was
Jesus,
euros or dollars
it wasn't
or pounds,
big.
but still, Bournemouth only have about 10, 12,000 in the stadium anyway. But
yeah, I mean, their issue is that the stadium is not big. It's not fit for purpose in the Premier League.
Yeah.
So at some point they have to look in maybe conjunction with the council. They've got to build a stadium.
yeah, by then they could be back in the Championship. So what can we do? Steve, on to the Championship, and we'll get the betting up now. Birmingham kick-off on Friday night. I saw the highlights against Blackpool. They're unlucky. They should have won. How do you see them going against Reading?
I think you're right. I think I fancied Birmingham last week. They're having a decent run. Reading had a good result, but away they're not so strong. I think of the two, Birmingham should start as favourites at home.
Birmingham. Yeah, they've got a couple of Man United youngsters in the team, so that'll be on. I'll back them. Have a couple of rand on them. Bristol City Stoke, Steve. Bristol City, great result last week. I fancied Stoke. They drew at home. Which way do you see it?
Yeah, I was surprised. I thought that Bristol might come. They scored goals, that's for sure. And we know sort of Stoke were trailing and came behind. I think there'll definitely be goals here. I think both scoring goals. I wouldn't be at all surprised if it ends all square, but I definitely can see goals there.
Yeah, 8 to 10, both teams to score. Now, I can't believe the price on Burnley. I watched them beat QPR last week. I know QPR were managerless, but Burnley played great. They could have won by a few more goals. I know Middlesbrough are going well under Michael Carrick, but Burnley the best team in that division by a long way. Steve, I think 12 to 10 is a good bet. How do you see it?
Yeah, very much so. I think Burnley should start favourites. I watched it, and as you say, Burnley had looked very organised.
Yeah.
The company has got them playing well. They look they look the strongest team in that division. Middlesbrough are having a bit of a run. They've picked up under Michael Carrick, but I think should definitely start as strong favourites at home.
12 to 10, definitely. Now, Cardiff City, you've got a horrendous home record, losing 4-5 against a team that, by all reports, especially from my Preston guys, could go down Blackpool unless they improve. Is 9 to 10 a good price for a mediocre team, Cardiff, Steve?
Well, I think that's more about Blackpool than Cardiff.
Yeah.
And, I think Cardiff should start as favourites, but they've been very inconsistent recently. So I think they might just edge it, but I think it won't be a classic.
All right, Steve. On to our next page. You've got Coventry City, who cost us last week. We were win and draw when they lost to Reading at home against the Swansea team, who seem to be out of form. I think the draw's a player. How do you see it?
Yeah, I was very surprised that with both the results that those teams they both lost. I think we both thought they'd get something. Coventry had picked up And if you look at in the form guide, they're still sort of in the top half. Swansea have definitely gone off the boil when they were having a really good run. I wouldn't be at all surprised if Coventry just win that by the odd goal.
Yeah, get back to winning ways. Good price, 15-10, but hard to trust.
Coventry.
Now, Watford, I fancied them last week. Didn't score a goal when they drew 0 at home. Can you expect them to rebound at Huddersfield?
I think so. I mean, it didn't sound like it was a particularly good game at the weekend, Watford. Huddersfield, again, picked up a little bit. Weren't so good last week, but I think that at home, I think they'd be hard to beat. So, for me, I could see that being a draw. If there was to be a winner, maybe Watford might sort of pinch it. It depends whether they've got all their players back now.
Yes.
Obviously, Ismail Sarr was away. If he's back as player now, that I would think that they might just start as just favourites.
All right. Well, I watched Sunderland on Monday night, 1-0 up. Our Man United guy, Ahmad Diallo, scored, but second half conceded a City goal and ended up getting beat. Hull City I think Hull City drew with Watford last week. They got better away form than at home. They've lost their last 4 at home. I think there's goals in this, Steve, but which way do you think it'll go?
Yeah, I think you're right. I thought Sunderland would do well last week, especially winning, and they seem to sort of fall apart at the end.
Yeah.
Carlos Corberán has obviously got sort of West Brom sort of going in the right direction. I think this will be a close game. I think you're right. I think there will be goals. You're not sure what you're going to get with Hull. I mean, they just seem to be so poor at home, yet away they are picking up points.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be at all surprised if they cancel each other out.
Okay.
We get a draw
Preston 6th.
Can't believe this. After watching my boys slaughter Blackburn, and it was sleeting. My brother was working in Blackburn at the time. He couldn't believe it. When I turned it over, you should have seen it, Paul. It was horrendous. But in saying that, my boys played great, but Blackburn gave us a couple of simple goals. I can't believe Preston are 16-10, especially having watched QPR. I know they've got a new manager. I'm all over my boys here. Steve, am I wrong, or how do you see it?
No, I don't. No, I think you're absolutely right. Based on form, QPR are bottom of the form guide, completely outplayed last week. And Preston, I watched quite a bit of it, and Preston was superb. So for me, Preston should start as strong favourites.
Yeah, 16-10.
Who's aside?
QPR. So I've got a couple of QPR mates who'll be winding me up once they watch the show, but I'm all over my boys. The Invincibles, 16-10. My money's already on them. Our next game, Steve, is West Brom Rotherham. West Brom with a new manager. They've won their last 4. They look like an outside tip to get back in the promotion race, especially with Carlos Corberán. Rotherham disappointing last week against Bristol City. 4-10, Steve. I know it's short, but surely they should win again.
That is skinny.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. It is short, but I mean, if you look at the sort of form guide, obviously before and after the break, West Brom are going in only one direction at the moment. Yeah. Carlos Corberán knows the division. He's obviously got he's got a decent squad. When you look at their roster, it's pretty strong. They were just underperforming under Steve Bruce. So I expect a comfortable home win.
Yeah, totally agree. Now, Norwich, good win at Swansea last week where Blackburn were woeful. I know Blackburn should improve, but this is a time for Norwich to make a statement, Steve. Which way do you see it going?
Yeah, I mean, Norwich have been very inconsistent, but it was a good win last week. Blackburn were poor, and away from home they've been very poor this season. It's their home record that had sort of taken them up the league. I would be very, very surprised if Norwich don't win that.
Yeah, I agree. Just never anything with Blackburn. They do score goals, so always obviously gives them a chance. Now, Luton Town, I don't know, I can't get my head around them, Steve, but I know at home the Mad Hatters are hard to beat. Millwall, they've cost me money the last 2 weeks, drawing last week when it was our best bet. I think there's goals in this Sunday game, Steve. But of the two teams, I've got no confidence. I'd be playing the draw if I was having a bet. Which way do you see it going?
Yeah, I think you're right. Both have been very inconsistent recently. We saw Millwall lose to Sunderland the week before, and then, surprisingly were held at home last week. And Luton, after a good little run, have seemed to have sort of fallen back a bit. I think that it could quite easily cancel themselves out. I think there will be goals. There normally are in this game, but I think it could finish all square.
Yeah. Steve, is it a tight ground just watching it on the TV? It looks
It is, yeah. It's a tight ground. They don't get many more. You can't get a lot more in than about 10, 12,000.
Okay.
And they're right on top of the pitch.
Yeah.
And it should be a sellout, but obviously with the weather and everything, you're not quite sure at the moment. But it's not far for Millwall fans to travel, so I think it'd be a good atmosphere. But I think that I think that just be a score. It has the feeling of a score draw.
Yeah, totally agree. Hopefully it's 2-2 because I'll be watching. And last but not least, Monday night, Wigan Athletic under Carlo Torre, who drew at Millwall in his first game against the Sheffield United team, 1-5-6. I think 11-10 looks a nice price, but we know these Monday night games. Which way do you see it?
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously, look, Carlo Torre's first home game. You'd think that the players would want to put in a performance for him, but Sheffield United are up there for a reason, and I think there will be goals, but I think Sheffield United should just come out on top.
Yeah, totally agree. 11-10 is a good price. Steve, we've done the League One Championship. Now it's pressure time again. Yeah, the boys need a bit of a boost going into Christmas. Who's your best bet?
I'm going to go for Burnley. I just think that I was just surprised that they're not odds on. Especially top of the table at home. So I would. I know Middlesbrough are having a good run, but I think Burnley should finish on top. My value bet, I'm going to go for your boys Preston. I think that, you look at the form. You look at the form guide and the way they both played last weekend. You'd have thought that Preston could have been odds on, but so 16-10 looks good value.
Steve, I don't know if this is good or bad news for our viewers, but both of our picks are the same, especially price-wise. We could have gone obviously a lot shorter, but at the price, great value. Got to have a full dip.
We'll talk next week.
Steve, keep well, and let's hope the weather improves, especially when you'll have a visitor to your shores shortly. So
absolutely,
enjoy it.
Bring some sunshine. You'll bring the sunshine with you.
It's monsoon here at the moment, Steve. Heat and rain.
Dear.
But Steve will liaise obviously over the weekend and enjoy the West Ham game on Saturday.
Yeah, thanks, Bud.
All the best,
Cheers,
Steve. Take care.
Bye-bye. Cheers.
Yeah.
Right, Budge, on we go. Soccer 6.
Yeah, Paul. Several of the money came through late on because I didn't know who the third and fourth playoff was, who was going to be obviously France or Morocco. So anyway, we'll start off with the Soccer 6. Obviously, these are Saturdays. I'm going Bristol City, win and draw at home against Stoke City. I'm going the field in the third and fourth playoff between Croatia and Morocco, as well as a Coventry City, Swansea City match. I think that could go either way. I don't see Sunderland losing at Hull City, and I'm banking my boys Preston North End to beat Queen's Park Rangers and West Brom to beat Rotherham 2-1-6. On to the second Soccer 6. I'm going the field in the Croatia-Morocco game, banking Cardiff City to beat Blackpool. Going the field in the Serie B clash between Pizza and Brescia, chancing Norwich City to beat Blackburn Rovers at home. Going Maccabi Netanya, win and draw at home against Beta Jerusalem. And Regina, win and draw at home against Bari.
Hell of a team. I don't know some of them.
Italian Serie B. On to the Soccer 10. I've thrown the draw in because it's an early lunchtime kickoff with Celtic at Aberdeen. I'm going Croatia-Morocco, the field in that particular fixture. Going Bristol City, win and draw at home against Stoke City. Banking Burnley to beat Middlesbrough. Cardiff City to beat Blackpool. Onto the second page, the field in the Coventry City Swansea game. Watford to avoid defeat at Huddersfield Town, as well as Sunderland win and draw at Hull City, and ending up with two bankers, Preston North End to beat QPR and West Brom to beat Rotherham United 288. Onto the Soccer 13, which is a carryover this week. I'm going Morocco, looking for the upset, win and draw against Croatia. Going Bristol City, win and draw against Stoke City. Banking Burnley to beat Middlesbrough. Cardiff City to beat Blackpool. Coventry City to avoid defeat at home against Swansea City. Going Watford, win and draw at Huddersfield. Another away win and draw, Sunderland at Hull City. Onto the second page, I've got three bankers in a row. Preston to beat QPR. Norwich City to beat Blackburn and West Brom to beat Rotherham. Ending up with 3 League One games. I'm going Bolton, win and draw at home against Exeter City. Charlton Athletic, win and draw against Bristol City. And banking Portsmouth to beat MK Dons 256.
Excellent. Budgie's best
Yeah,
bets.
Paul, unfortunately, we couldn't have a bet with the final, Paul. It only came out last night, so I've left it. Yeah, be really hard to get decent value, even though I do fancy one anytime goal scorer, which I'll give it to you after we do the bets. I'm going Birmingham City on Friday to beat Reading. I think Burnley will beat Middlesbrough, and I fancy my boys Preston to beat QPR. 11-1, 2,200 was our bet. The Championship, 2 goals. I'm going Burnley, Preston, West Brom and Sheffield United, all to score over 1.5 goals. 3,500 to 200 was our bet. Our next game is on to the Championship, where I'm going the next 4 games, both teams to score. I'm going Bristol City, Stoke City, Huddersfield, Watford, Hull City, Sunderland, and Luton, Millwall. 2,200 to 200. Our League One treble, I'm going Barnsley to beat Burton Albion, Portsmouth to beat MK Dons, and Sheffield Wednesday to beat Oxford United, and both teams to score. 2,100 to 200. Scotland starts again. There's a game on tonight, but we won't include it in our bets. I'm going Hearts to beat Kilmarnock, Motherwell to beat St Mirren, and both teams to score on the Celtic Aberdeen, Ross County St Johnstone matches. 2,400 to 200. And our Collis King 6 or next, where I'm going West Brom to beat Rotherham, Sheffield United to beat Wigan, Barnsley to beat Burton Albion, Plymouth to beat Morecambe, Celtic to beat Aberdeen, and Hearts to beat Kilmarnock. 4,000 to 200. Paul, World Cup, I'm going to chance, I think there'll be penalties. There've been penalties all the time. Yeah, so Messi, I think it's 9-2 to score the first goal. And I like Anton Griezmann to score for France, Paul. He's 9-2 as well.
He scored this tournament?
No, but I think he'll get a penalty, and I think they'll double team Mbappe.
Would he take the penalty?
Yeah, he takes them, yeah. So he takes all the set pieces, Paul. Corners, free kicks. I think it's in his contract, yeah. But
all right, that's excellent, Budge. And don't forget, next week, last one standing. Until next time, stay on side.